How's everyone doing? Look, our government has got the flu or COVID or something or mental problems. I briefly started looking into some of the costs, the wastes that our government spends, and it is vile. And I'm gonna read a few off to you, and I'm gonna start putting this out weekly, daily, whatever. As I research more of this, because people need to know about this. It costs $6.85 million a day to run our government. That's $3.6 trillion a year. A lot of these are just random. I'm going to get into it where I'm reading each state, each department of government, whatever. But these are just some random things to tick you off. The F-35 was 7 years behind schedule at a cost of $173 billion over budget, with a $1 trillion lifetime maintenance fee. We have in 2012 we had 2,000 Abrams tanks sitting in the California desert just because we had them build them because of as part of stimulus to give the tank builders something to do. So they just build these tanks and they just sat there. The Air Force spent $325,000 on coffee mugs. Yes, you heard me right, coffee mugs. And that's $836 a mug. They later found out that with the 3D printer, they could print them off for 50 cents a piece. Let's see. The U.S. government owns roughly 77,000 empty buildings, like high-rises, stuff like that. And our tax dollars pay $1.7 billion a year to mow those lawns and fix the plumbing and shit like that. Homeless people could be living in those, or we could, hey, sell them off and put the money back into the budget. This one will really kill you. Administrative leave for employees from 2014 to 2016. And these are for people that are like on administrative leave for misconduct, security clearance problems, sexual misconduct allegations. $3.1 billion in 2 years we paid for that kind of stuff. The U.S. Census Bureau in 2010 paid $2.5 million for a 30-second ad in the Super Bowl. And then from 2014 to 2016, the IRS paid $12 million for a cloud-based email system that they never used. They paid for it and just never used it. Let's see. The Department of Defense. The Department of Defense spent $100 million on airplane tickets in 2004 that they never used. And I assume they've been doing the same crap every year since then because they haven't gotten any more efficient. Medicare paid $172 million for penis pumps. And they paid basically double the price for them. So we paid an extra $80 million for penis pumps that we didn't have to pay for. Let's see. Government granted students of University of Washington $1.3 million to study how beer koozies keep beer cold in the warm weather. Let's see. the Obama Pentagon allocated $500 million to train 100 Syrian rebels to fight for whatever the hell they were doing. Only like 4 or 5 of them made it to Syria. The rest of them were captured or other things happened to them. And this is at $4 million per man training cost. 1996 Northeastern University received $3 million to do a study to get hamsters to fight on steroids and other aggressive drugs. It's insane what our government spends. They don't care. They just waste money. And these guys, they give these grants and they give this money out to contractors. They give out these contracts, and then these contractors will turn around and contribute money to their re-election campaign. That's all our government is anymore. It's just a big money rotating thing. You give us $10 million for our ad campaign or for our re-election, and we'll give you a $1 billion government contract. That's all it is. That's all they do, and it's disgusting. It's got to stop. And you got to help me get this out, pass this on, show this to other people, because there's other stuff in there that'll blow that away. It is just mind-boggling, the things that people, you would think people would hear these things and go, my God. What, you know, I remember when Johnny Carson was around, and they were talking about the Army's or the Navy's, the Navy or Air Force, one or two, spending $500 on a hammer. And it wasn't even like a special hammer. It was a regular hammer you could go get at Home Depot for $20. But the military was spending $500 for it. That I thought was ridiculous at the time. But this stuff is getting up into the billions and hundreds of millions of dollars of waste. It's gross. It is gross. The amount of lives that can be saved, the amount of people that can be fed. I mean, you want to talk about, you know, I'm not someone that would want to take anyone's medical insurance from them, but I'll tell you what, with that much waste, we could take that waste and pay for the people that don't have insurance to have insurance, and that would still allow everyone else to keep their insurance if they wanted to. But that's a lot of money that is wasted, and we need to get it out. We need to make a huge stink about it. I mean, raise hell about it. So please subscribe, help me get this out, and tell your friends and pass it on, because it's got to stop. This is gonna, I don't even know how our country's floating now. I'm pretty sure last time I checked, I believe they took off where they have to vote to extend our debt ceiling. I don't think they have to do that anymore. I think now they just extend it without even voting on it. That means they just, you know, because before we could only spend so much money, and then we'd hit the debt ceiling, and then they would have to go to Congress. Congress would have to approve it, vote on it. You know, the American public knew about it. Now they just voted to stop doing that. They just, oh, we need a couple $100 trillion more to throw into the government. Just throw it on in there, and they just throw it in at will, and they don't tell anyone about it. They don't do. They just do it, and now neither the Republicans or the Democrats care anymore. It always, the Republicans were always supposed to be the fiscally responsible ones, but you know, they were a little bit, but not much. But that's all gone out the window. We're gonna have to be the adults in this room, because they're sure as hell not. So please, like I said, subscribe, help me get this out. I'm gonna put out a lot more of these things, and you better get some Maalox or some Rolaids, because when I put these out, the more I put out, the sicker you're gonna get when you see how much. I mean, they are literally, you could take $1 trillion, even $2 trillion of our money, put it in a big pile and light it on fire, and would still be able to run everything the way they run it now, because they run it so bad right now that they lose. You know, when 9/11 happened, they were missing $2.5 trillion. It was either 2 or 3.5 trillion. It was somewhere between $2 and $3 trillion had vanished, just vanished from the Department of the Military. And when those planes hit the World Trade Center, it just happened to be in that building, in one of those buildings, and it happened to also be on record at the Pentagon. But as soon as those planes hit those buildings, it wiped out all that record. 2-point-something trillion dollars just vanished. It's kind of fishy to me, and you can look it up. It's a true fact. It did happen, and that money was never recovered. And it's disgusting. So please help me. Help us all. God bless you. Have a great day.